Welcome back to Conference USA Media Days. Next year, we will add another team to the conference. That'll be the Charlotte 49ers. They will be playing their first season in football next year. And joining us now, their head football coach, Brad Lambert. Last year was their first season in football, 5-6 in 2013. Good to have you here, buddy.
Good to be
we
here,
were just
Ron.
talking. I think this is important. When you start a program, that first year is very important, not just from a playing standpoint, but from an everything standpoint.
Yeah, no question. You're trying to lay your foundation and set yourself up for years to come. So you want to do well that first year and in all aspects of it. And it was a little nerve-wracking last year with all the unknowns and hosting a game for the first time and things like that. So it was a little interesting.
But you did beat number 25 Gardner-Webb. That had to be kind of a focal point of the season.
Yeah, no question. And the schedule ended up being a little tougher than everybody thought when we made it and played some ranked teams in Coastal Carolina and Gardner-Webb and got a win over a ranked team. So that was huge for us, a lot of momentum for us, in year one.
Now, we talked in the past about, you came from Wake Forest, obviously, what you've taken from Wake Forest. Last year, you hadn't done it, you hadn't coached yet. How different was it, your first year as a head coach, than what you thought and what you had learned at Wake?
Well, obviously it's a lot different. You have to deal with all aspects of the program, and you kind of get in your own little world as an assistant coach and deal with your guys, and yet when you become the head coach, you got to deal with all the discipline issues and setting up all the the daily schedules and things like that. So it is a lot different. And this was unique in that you're playing a first game and nobody had coached together.
Right.
Our players were so young, and our administration was handling the game for the first time. So it went off without a glitch, and that was the real positive thing for me.
Well, offensively, you had no problem, obviously, because you had 500 yards offense 5 times. 4 of those games were against FCS schools. Your offense seemed to click right away.
Yeah, I thought our offensive guys really did a nice job. They, we play up pace and try to go as fast as we can. I thought our offensive guys, our offensive line is really kind of the rock of who we are, and those guys did a nice job. They really did.
When I look at your roster, and it's I know you're already smiling. I know it's second year of the program, but I'm seeing freshman, redshirt freshman, sophomore, 1 or 2 juniors that are sprinkled in there. I don't think people realize the big difference between a freshman and a junior who's had playing time.
Yeah, no question, and that's, as we move toward Conference USA, that's been our focus, is how old can we be in 2015 when we come in the league, because we are a young football team, and I joke about it. Basically, we were a 13th grade team last year, so it's something that we had to work through, and I thought the coaches and the players handled it really well. So we're going to continue to grow our roster, and really looking forward to this year watching the guys play, because we will have a lot of third-year guys, so it should be a lot of fun for us.
Well, you obviously have somebody very good at quarterback in Matt Johnson. Still a young guy, but he was a finalist for the Jerry Rice Award in 2013. You're able to build your offense around him and watch this young man grow also. Yeah,
the very best thing about Matt, he's a tough guy. I mean, he plays quarterback, but he's a tough guy. He really does a nice job of leading us, and I think the game will really slow down for him in year 2. Last year, everything was new. He's playing college football for the first time, so sometimes he gets in a hurry, but I thought he handled the situation really well. And like I say, I think it all comes back to our offensive line. Those guys really had a good year and helped him a lot, along the process.
And I think it's important, and I think as a coach, and all coaches would understand this, with Conference USA on the horizon, winning this year is important. I mean, you're building, but you got to get that mentality that we're going to go out there and win football games.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you want to set yourself up with a lot of good momentum going into 2015, and that's why 2014 is really critical for us. And we play basically the same schedule that we did last year, so we've got good teams on our roster, but it is an FCS schedule. It's not an FBS schedule, which we'll run into in 15. So we've got to continue to win and to get older and add to our roster and fill it out. But this year's really critical for us.
I know we were talking last year about this, about the support you're getting in the Charlotte area. And Charlotte obviously has a great history going back to basketball and even in Conference USA back in the mid-90s. But Jerry Richardson Stadium, it seems like it's a great place to play. They were 10th in attendance last year at FCS. That has to be nice, knowing that the community is starting to get involved with you.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of that in the first 2 years as I was out in the community building support, and I got to see the excitement. It was really good for our players to you know, to get to experience that on game day, because it's a really good environment. Our fans came out. They've exceeded expectations all along the way in this process, and it was a lot of fun. It's a loud stadium. It's on campus. You know, we've got a young university, so it just fits in with all that our campus is, and our fans turned out, and it was really exciting for us to be able to take the field, especially in game one, man. It was electric.
I bet it was. Now, obviously, next year when we're talking, it's going to be a little different, Coach.
That's right.
This is your exhibition season for me, okay?
I'm
Next
with you.
year, I got to get serious with you.
That's right.
But it's got to be exciting knowing that next year at this time, you'll be sitting here talking about Conference USA schedule.
Yeah, it is. It's something to think about. And it's been, you know, it's something that's always, we've got to focus on, we've got to plan for, and all those things. And yet at the same time, we can't forget about where we are and what we've got to accomplish this year. So it's been an interesting task to keep our guys on point.
Well, Brad, we are looking forward to you joining the conference, my friend.
Thank
Good
you.
seeing
Thank
you
you
again.
for having us. We appreciate
Best of
you.
luck this year. We will have more from Conference USA Media Day coming up in just a little bit.